Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good day.
Wherever you may be.
What's going on, everybody?
This week is, after what feels like 21 days, is coming to an end tonight.
This week has been killer, man.
This week has been long.
Yeah.
Frustrating.
Every day getting bad news on somebody that affects one of your fantasy teams out there. It feels like, you know what I mean? Or at least is affecting your matchup. It might not be affecting your team specifically, but it's affecting the guy you're playing against for sure. Yeah. Crazy week.
Still, we're fighting for something. If there's anything, left as far as these games, and what they mean for your league, or maybe you specifically, there's still work to be done. There's still games to be played. So we just got to take news and information one day at a time. Obviously, there are still plenty of matchups that have to be determined tonight.
Well, let me ask you a question with an eye to next week, because this is technically a waiver wire show.
Yeah.
Who are your top 3 waiver claims this week?
I mean, it's tough because there's so many unsettled situations that we don't quite know how they're going to play out yet.
Yeah.
It's waivers are a bit of a roll of the dice just because we never know who's going to end up testing positive. So we have to be careful. Obviously, we still have to operate as normally as we can. So with that being said, I guess, the number one priority is probably Russell Gage, if he's still out there, if he's available. We were wrong about him.
We're finally we have to come around to him now. I mean,
yeah,
we've been off
there's
on
no
him
choice.
Literally at every turn.
And we were wrong.
Yeah, he's their number one pure wide receiver moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Until they get Christian or Calvin Ridley back,
which is not this year.
It's not guaranteed at all.
Yeah, I mean, we're not worried about. I mean, just like 3 of his past 4 games, he's got a touchdown or over. Or he's over 60 yards receiving in his past 4 games. 2 of those games, 90 and 130. He's got 2 touchdowns in that 4-game span. I mean, he's a wide receiver too right now until further notice.
Yeah.
To end the season, and then we got to keep an eye on this running back situation. Austin Eckler was originally placed on the COVID list, and then he was taken off of it.
I don't think it might have been a false positive they were thinking, or something like that, or a test was done incorrectly. But we don't know. I don't know the reason. Everything that's out there is speculation. He could go on tomorrow. He was just not on it today, and that was misinformation there.
Still was not at practice on Monday.
That was probably more of a precaution, just because they
probably
didn't know his status.
Probably precautionary, but obviously these are developments that we have to take into consideration. Hopefully we have more information by Wednesday, and depending on how that news goes, Justin Jackson is very much near the top of waiver claims this week.
Right.
If the Eckler if the person who has Eckler roster didn't already have Jackson handcuffed.
I mean,
he looks like a good ad.
That I'd been advocating everybody pick up for a while is Samaje Perine.
Yeah, he's another guy.
It looks like that Mixon picked up an injury that could keep him out of next week's game.
It looked. I mean, he got rolled up on. Initially, I mean, this just going off of like how it looked. It didn't. I feel like not discrediting Mixon's injury here, but I feel like I've seen worse. Like when my reaction to it was like, hopefully he's okay. He's all right. He's clearly down. He's clearly in pain. But just like from an untrained eye, or as far as I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical expert, it didn't look as serious as some other injuries do, like some other similar injuries do, right?
Right.
That being said, he was down on the ground. He was in pain. So can we just automatically assume one way or another about his status for Week 16? No. But Perine is a good proactive move.
Speculative ad, right?
Yeah,
sure.
Proactive speculative ad for your roster, especially if you have Mixon. So those three come to mind: Gage, Perine, and Justin Jackson. Now
we've made it 5 minutes in, and we haven't talked about any of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
No,
considering
so many
Godwin's out for the season.
So many storylines from Week
back.
14.
I know that's why this week has been crazy.
Yeah.
What's your main takeaway there? Who's the biggest? I hate to say it this way, but beneficiary, from a fantasy perspective, of that situation.
I mean, it's Antonio Brown. If you held on to him, but like all of the news, all of the reports, and I said this last week, if I thought if the Bucs were to cut Antonio Brown, it would have happened already. It didn't happen, and now they're lo and behold, these injuries happen to Godwin and Evans, but Bruce Arians comes out today and essentially says like these players are going to be welcomed back. Also, caveat, I can appreciate the honesty here. He said he was like, our team needs them. I'm paraphrasing. He said he was like, our team needs these guys back. It's not just Antonio Brown. He's talking about Mike Edwards, the safety, who was also suspended for the same exact reason. Antonio Brown is a gigantic winner. There's no reason to believe he's not going to see, if he can handle it, like all of the work, as many targets as he can handle.
Yeah, up more than 10 targets a game he could get moving forward.
He could. Yeah. He could. So
he is gonna be now Tom Brady's. He's everything. He's gonna be Tom Brady's everything. He's gonna be Tom Brady's Edelman, and Edelman, for what it was worth, in New England with Tom Brady, was getting more than 10 targets a game every game.
So
yeah,
I mean, he's a big winner. Gronk is a big winner. Just somebody's got to pick up targets.
11 targets last game. Yep, only caught 2 of them, but still.
Yeah. If you have the Bucs and you're surviving, you are counting your stars that they don't have to play the Saints again. But I mean, this downgrades everybody. Obviously, best wishes to Chris Godwin. He's playing on the franchise tag. You hope he, from a fan perspective, you hope he gets the money that he deserves, despite this injury. Mike Evans
is being teams out there that will pay up for.
I would think so.
Yeah,
I would think so. He's still only I think he'll be 26 next year. So you're talking about 6 years still of high level production, at least. Evans is week to week, or he could be day to day. It's anyone's guess if he's going to be able to play Week 16. But he was ruled doubtful right away coming out of the game, and in the grand scheme of things, I think they did wait till halftime, but he was ruled out somewhat quickly, so there's a little concern there. All this to say, Tom Brady is
that's
low end QB1, but
that's something that I talked about in a video that we put out on our channel about it.
Yup.
He was
not
the
slam
20.
dunk.
He was the QB 20 coming out of Sunday, and that was with 8 quarterbacks still left to play. So it wasn't even that he put up a low end QB
Well,
1 week. He put up a low end QB 2 week.
Cousins and Fields both outperformed him in the Monday night game.
Right.
So
I mean,
yeah,
it didn't. There we go.
He was barely a QB2 in Superflex leagues. Like he was a QB like 24, 25.
If he's not gonna have 3 of his top weapons up to this point coming into this into the fantasy playoffs, we do have to worry about him a little bit.
A little bit. Again, they don't get the Saints again. That is clearly the kryptonite of this team.
They get the Panthers, the Jets, and then I think the Panthers if your league goes that far.
Yeah. So I would not expect a top 3 quarterback finish for the next 2 games. I would also not expect the QB 24.
Right.
Antonio Brown coming back is a boost. We're talking about a guy like Tom Brady who is good enough to fix this and correct himself.
And he does
especially
have some
in a division
weapons
game
there. I mean, he does have Ronald Jones there to come in for Fournette, and while he's not
that's right. That's another loss. Yep.
Excuse me, he's not the pass catcher that Fournette is by far.
No.
He can run up the middle. I mean, we saw a Keyshawn Vaughn sighting. We saw a Keyshawn Vaughn sighting on Sunday.
Yeah, that's how bizarre week 15
When is the last time you saw Keyshawn Vaughn out on the field with Tom Brady? Period.
Never. I don't think it happened, or I don't think it had happened to this point.
Yeah, and he dropped a pass, and I think Tom Brady, you could see him on TV roll his eyes.
Yeah.
So
this is not the lethal Bucs offense, obviously, that started the season.
But, I mean, Tyler Johnson's out there, and I think he's a beneficiary. They seem to always get Cameron Brate involved when they, in some minimum form or fashion, when they incur injuries like this. They do go multiple tight end for what that's worth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen O.J. Howard catch touchdowns in this offense. We've seen Brate catch touchdowns in this offense. So.
Yeah, Howard was for like a 1 or 2 game sample. That was about it.
Right. I would say Brate, if Evans
Brate
is out,
is on the tight end 2-ish roadmap.
Right.
Yeah. If you're desperate for a stream.
Tyler Johnson, wide receiver 3. If Mike Evans doesn't play, I would say, but unexciting one.
Yeah, 3-4, and I can't advise picking him up. And plugging him, even if you had Brady.
Now we just got a question about another Miami team and their run game. What are your thoughts on Duke Johnson asks Casey
another
Royals?
Florida team.
Huh?
You mean another Florida team?
Yeah, that Miami, Florida.
Yeah, that.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. What's going on, Casey?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Thoughts on Duke Johnson is anytime we hear about a player getting signed off the practice squad, play that player because they're clearly in line for a ton of work. Duke almost had 3 scores. He almost got 3.
Yeah, he was their entire offense. Now, Jalen Waddle will probably be back for the next game.
Yeah.
So he's not going to get that much work.
I don't know.
He clearly took over this backfield. I mean, you can't invest in Myles Gaskin.
Well, here's the thing with Gaskin. Was he did they limit him because he was coming off the COVID list? Was he experiencing symptoms? Maybe that was a case, and now maybe he was sick. Maybe Gaskin was actually sick, and he had to get his conditioning back up. That could have been it. I'm not sure I'm ready.
Was he active, or Philip Lindsay was not active for that game? Correct?
Nah, he's not a factor. Ahmed was, I think. No, I think it was
Lindsay. Wasn't Philip Lindsay on the COVID list or on an injury list of some sort?
He was, but he was, I believe, he was activated prior to the game.
Okay.
Oh. He tested positive. Well, he tested positive earlier in the week, but I think was cleared for the game.
But that's what I want to. That's what I want to check up on because I mean.
Yeah, it feels like Duke might have been could have been an emergency situation, but then also, did he play his way into having an end of season role here?
I don't see a alert saying that Philip Lindsay was activated from off of the COVID list.
Okay, so he was out. So maybe he's expected to come back.
So maybe Duke Johnson isn't the slam dunk that we all would. I mean, that his stats would leave us to believe.
We said the same thing about Craig Reynolds, though.
Yeah.
This is a different scenario, though, because
Craig Reynolds the Lions didn't have anybody coming back yet.
Yeah, Swift is hurt and looks like at this point I'd be surprised if we see DeAndre Swift again this year. Yeah. Whereas Gaskin is maybe not of the same stature of Swift, because he's not injured. He was just sick. So Gaskin could come back next week and just kind of like resume lead back duties. It could be I feel like this time I am more inclined, given the underlying factors, like all of the intangibles. I feel like Duke Johnson is a little bit more of a flash in the pan than Craig Reynolds is.
Yes.
Just to like compare the situation of two practice squad guys. But there's just more competition expected in Miami for these next coming weeks. And Miami's playing for the playoffs. So they've got a reason to continue to utilize the backs that they've been relying on when they're back to 100%.
Yep. And hey, sorry to hear you lost in the first round, man. That's
this week was crap. I can't like. It probably didn't take much for you to have at least one or two duds in your lineup.
It was the craziest week from just a constant alert standpoint of just weird news coming out that I think I've ever experienced.
Yeah, just weird. Real quick, Mark, what's going on? Thanks for joining. Yes, Ricky Seals-Jones was removed from the injury report. He's a go tonight. So if you're planning to stream him, that you're good. You're fine. Anyway, this week was brutal for underperformers. Just weird stuff happening. That's fantasy. There's a whole.
It's kind of a weird week to cap out a weird year. I mean,
COVID played a huge factor.
Laquan Treadwell, wide receiver 1 for his team. It's just a weird year, dude.
Yeah.
It's just a weird year.
So, yeah, I mean, making the playoffs is an accomplishment by itself. Obviously, this isn't what you want to hear right now. But making the playoffs is an accomplishment. In competitive leagues, when you got 10 or 12 people gunning for it from week one, it's a fun little challenge. It's like, am I good enough to be in the top 6? So, you did that this year. We build on that next year.
Yeah, having a good playoff streak is nothing to sneeze at.
No, I mean, if obviously you always want to win a championship, but you're not going to every single year. So, but if you're in the playoffs, like 80% of the time, 70% of the time, I'm just putting out like, crazy strong number. Like that's it's like, I know what I'm doing. And one of these years it's going to hit.
That's a number that Nick and I typically hit in our leagues. We're typically in the playoffs in about around 80% of our leagues, if not more. So I think that we can help you guys get there too.
I hope so. Well, we got to start saying pick up Russell Gage, but yeah.
Hey.
Instead of don't play him.
If we had an 100% track record, we'd.
Yeah, I know. I spend more time thinking about the guys I miss on than the guys I hit on.
Yeah.
That's it. But yeah.
Does anybody have anybody playing tonight? We don't have a ton of people in the room, but does anybody have anybody playing tonight? Does anybody have anything on any matchups that are on the line tonight?
Our regular viewers might be maybe, or our regular number, like the number of viewers, or maybe they're pacing around, sweating it out because they got a close matchup.
Yep.
I mean, that's my situation personally. We were talking offline before this. I am.
Hey, when I'm in a tough matchup, I just kind of I go into a fear bunker, and you can't.
That's where I've been.
I'm not out of that until the matchup is over, regardless of the outcome. But
that's where I've been all day. I have been in my tank, of just like a million different scenarios, like Doctor Strange, like a million different scenarios running through my brain, like. I'm trying to advance past the first round, big money keeper league. I'm winning by less than a point, and it's Antonio Gibson against Van Jefferson. So the odds are in my favor, but I am well aware that this is like not over by any means.
Yeah, it's make it or break it.
Make it or break it. So of course I'm sweating it out. Yep.
And KC Royals, hey man, welcome to fantasy. I hope that you're hooked.
It'll bring you a lot of it'll be an emotional roller coaster, but that's what we're here for.
And hey, getting into the playoff race in your first year always makes it fun.
Yep.
Always makes it fun.
Like, let's build on this.
Yeah.
Build on the success.
Yeah. And Mark, you got Gibson and or Sanders playing tonight. So which one would you choose? I mean, I think Gibson, right? J.D. McKissick is not playing at all, so it's going to be him and Jarrett Patterson out there, so he gets all of the work.
It's a third-string quarterback on the road.
Yeah,
that's the only thing.
You know how much rushing work there's going to be for Gibson this week, and short dump-off passes? I think it's Gibson over Sanders. I do.
I feel fine about Gibson tonight. I don't know. Like there's like a contrarian feeling to me right now, given the other variables in this game. Like Miles Sanders is a strong play.
Miles Sanders is a strong play, but I mean,
and
Jordan Howard should be back, and he was good for 12 rushes on the ground when he was playing in the 4 games that he played. I mean, we've seen the resurgence of Kenny Gainwell. Everybody else in this offense is healthy, whereas I mean, it's really just Gibson, McLaurin, and then Ricky Seals-Jones if he's.
And Terry was
for Ricky Seals-Jones.
Terry was cleared, I believe.
He was cleared, didn't have an injury designation.
No injury designation.
I mean that helps Gibson. If
Absolutely.
There's a guy to help get him into the red zone, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going Gibson. It's closer this week than
it's
most
very
weeks,
close.
But
it's
going
very
Gibson.
Close.
Yep.
I think Sanders is in line for a pretty good game tonight. And being at home with his starting quarterback, that's just the pitch that I'm making for Sanders.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts also vultures touchdowns on the goal line, and there are other backs in that offense that vulture touchdowns on the goal line. From him, he's not a touchdown scorer, and you're hoping for enough rushes for him to get over 100 yards on the ground. And I think Gibson has higher upside. I'd be going Gibson in make it or break it matchup. I'd be going Gibson.
I agree that I think Gibson has. I'm essentially like I'm not disagreeing. I'm actually like agreeing with your take. I've been a Sanders opposer this year for the most part. But I think this is all I'll say is I think this is a good spot for him. Gibson is the more talented player with more upside. The intangibles in this game, being at home, having your quarterback, just being on the healthier team overall in general, the intangibles I would say are in Sanders' favor. From a talent perspective, it's Gibson, which means in a win or go home, probably go Gibson.
Talent and like workload share.
Gibson will have the work.
Yeah.
Gibson will get the work, and even if they're trailing, they should be throwing it to him. Will they? I don't know. Should they? Yes. Gibson is the more talented player, and if you believe in the mantra of starting your studs, especially in a must-win game, Gibson has to be the play. I just wanted to make a pitch for Sanders.
Solid.
That's all.
No, I mean,
in a year where I've been down on him.
Between many other players and Sanders, I'd be going Sanders this week, especially. But I mean, I'm not Gibson. And Brett, you got Gibson. All right.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And man. he has been boomer bust. It's been very up and down this year.
Not a boom week, but I think this is. I mean, he's got as good a chance as any to put up a 20-point week,
or to like at least get 20 touches. Let's put it that way.
Right. B3 Solo, what's going on? Penny or OBJ in the flex?
And what's going on?
What's your situation when you're telling us these? I mean, are you going up against a guy that has all of his players played and you need to put up 20 points? Are you putting up? Are you a bit pretty much even right now and going up against a Van Jefferson, something like that? Like what's
or cup.
What's
like,
the situation that you're in?
Who's your
up against
opponent
Matt
got
Stafford
left? What's the
still?
score?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's find that, because that's something I want to know. I think I lean Odell in a vacuum. But the situation, yeah, I want to know the situation. Give us the full
and PPR. Okay, good to know.
Odell
by a hair.
Yeah, I like if you're trailing like, I know everybody's on the Rashad Penny train, and I put a video about him last week. Feels like 3 weeks ago with how long this week has been, with all the games. He's on the RB2 roadmap. Penny is, but on Sunday I was touting like, I'm worried about the Seahawks against the Rams. Like, recent history suggests the Seahawks are in trouble, and this is not a good Seahawks team. So I lean Odell on the better team.
All right, you have Russell Wilson to play, and
down
Penny
70.
or OBJ, and you're down 70, and he's got the Rams D and Gainwell.
And you have Russ.
So you have Russ and either Penny and OBJ.
I mean, I would
to put up 70 plus.
I would say the upside is with Odell.
Yeah, man.
Game
but
script
that is a rough.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you're asking for a moonshot play. So
I mean, you're hoping the Rams D gets smashed and puts up no
Penny
points,
then?
and then Gainwell gets no points, and
maybe you play Penny then, because Penny would at least, like, anytime he scores, it's a direct multiple point swing by taking points away from the Rams defense,
and he's gonna get all the work.
I think, all right, Penny is the moonshot play, because if in
this situation, yeah, man. Hey, man, I'm sorry. That
Odell
sucks.
is the safer play.
You gotta go balls to the wall and not do the safe play, which is Odell. I would go
Odell
Penny.
is the safe play.
There's
Penny is
somewhat of a stack, and there is a negative correlation between, or whatever correlation. I'm not a mathematician, but between Penny and the Rams D.
Yeah. I mean, if Odell gets 15 points, and Penny only gets 5, you probably aren't making those points up anyway, right? So at least Penny is the moonshot ceiling play where, yeah, maybe he has 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, because holy hell, the Seahawks do commit to him, and it's not like a random DJ Dallas week, because that would be the perfect way to top this crazy week off, wouldn't it? I would say Penny is your swing for the fences. Let's go for broke play.
Yep.
Let's go for broke. Yeah, I would play Penny. It's the moonshot play.
Yep. And Elout, what's going on? How you doing?
What's up, Elout? B3 solo, good luck, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'll be keeping an eye on how that goes when I'm watching tonight, for sure. All right.
I'll be paying attention to Antonio Gibson, but
you're out of the playoffs, Elout. Sorry to hear that.
Sorry, Elout.
Yep.
This was a stupid week. This was a stupid week filled with stupid stuff. Injuries, a lot of underperformers.
Yeah.
A lot of things that are really difficult to try to explain. Like, how did that happen? Why did that happen?
Weird year in the first place. I mean, all of the top players are seemingly out right now. If you were going into the beginning of the year, I mean, Christian McCaffrey out. Derrick Henry out.
Multiple other guys have missed multiple games. Saquon, Kamara.
People are probably without their wide receiver 1, AJ Brown, right now. I mean, just all these things
on the COVID
are just
list.
accumulating, and it's been a crazy ride this year, for sure.
Yep. But to those still standing, let's see what we can do. Let's see what happens tonight. But
yes, sir.
Eli, we'll get him next year.
Yep.
We'll get him next year. We'll have redraft draft content, no doubt. That's probably going to be more in the summer, but we'll have it.
And hey, Brett Gibson always been boomer bust all season. Yeah. But this week it's as good a bet.
Last week was a bust week, so this week's got to be a boom week, right?
I mean, he's gonna get all the work.
All the work. He better. I'm rooting for him too, Brett. Rooting for him too, and Mark. I'm rooting for Gibson tonight too.
Then Mark, you're hoping to get 65 points from Cup, Gibson, Seals, Jones, Matt Gay. Okay.
Warriors. Okay.
You can do that.
That's fine.
You can do that.
Like Cup is doable. Cup feels like Cup gets 20 in his sleep.
No Higbee today, so
no Higbee. Yeah, Cup gets 20 in his sleep. So then you need 45 from Gibson, your kicker, and a tight end stream.
I mean, that's
all right. It's a long. Okay,
it's a nail biter, but that's still
doable
for sure.
You might need 30 from Cup, but he's done that more than once this year too. So,
no, you get a 12-point game from Matt Gay. So he goes
right. You need double digits from the kicker for sure. You need double digits from the kicker for sure. Seals Jones, you need a touchdown.
Benefits gets those Zach Ertz with Colt McCoy like targets with the backup
quarterback.
He just gets all the targets.
The Eagles' weakness on defense is their linebackers.
Right.
So.
Right. Hey man, I think you're
not
down
dead.
65 points. You're in a pretty decent spot.
You're not dead.
Yeah, and hey, Cup can put up 40 points.
He can't put up 40, but he can put up 20.
He can, man. He can.
I'm just good. 40's not happening. 30 could happen.
I mean, I'm just saying Cooper Cup can do it.
I understand
this season. All right.
I understand. But let's see what happens.
Yep. Logan, you picked up both Duke Johnson and Craig Reynolds in your Dynasty League. All right. Good
Okay.
Pickups. You're losing playoff Lenny for the semis. Which should I replace him with?
Probably Reynolds.
Reynolds is the safer bet. I mean, Jamal Williams should be coming back, but Craig Reynolds will definitely stay involved. And he looked explosive. He looked like he was getting chunk runs in back-to-back games.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
And guess what? They signed him to the active roster, right? So,
and it's clear that they don't.
They
like
did.
Jamar
They signed him to
Jefferson,
the active roster.
And Iwubuike fumbled again.
He's done.
He's not getting another shot. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Reynolds,
he's had 37 carries the past 2 weeks.
His nickname in for the Lions right now is Netflix.
Yeah, I saw that because he was watching
yeah.
Netflix or something when he got the call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool. Awesome story. That's the one positive way to positively spin this weird week and weird year is there's been more than one feel good stories that have come out of this, and Reynolds is definitely one of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, even when Jamal Williams comes back, he's not going to do it by himself. I have to think it's Reynolds. I think Duke Johnson is more likely to slide back behind a Myles Gaskin who's fully recovered off the COVID list, and eventually, they brought in Phillip Lindsay. Same with Salvin Ahmed.
Yep.
It's going to be more don't drop Duke Johnson. He's absolutely worth a hold now at this point. But if you can only pick one, Reynolds feels like the safer bet to stay involved.
Agreed. And Elout, ridiculous week.
Silly week.
You had Brady, Fournette, Kamara, OBJ, Cooks, Gronk, and Ertz flex.
You had you had one explosion in Cooks. You had a decent game in Fournette, and you had a bunch of nothing burgers from Brady, Kamara, and Gronk.
Yeah.
And whatever Odell does tonight doesn't. If you're saying you're out, then obviously that means there's a deficit that's too much to make up. Brady did you no favors, or Kamara, both of them. Yeah, I know how that feels.
Yeah, Gronk didn't. 11 targets. He caught 2 of them for 29 yards, no touchdown.
Yeah, that's no good.
Yeah.
That's no good.
Yeah. So.
The process was there. That team is good. The process was correct.
It is. And
Brady and Kamara.
You stick with those skill position players for sure. AB,
no doubt.
Gronk. You don't have AB, but
No,
And
like
that's
Kamara.
that's a good squad. That's a good squad
Yeah.
rolling into the playoffs. I would have felt confident with that squad too. Rolling
Just
into
didn't
this
happen.
week, it just
Bad
weird
weeks.
Week.
That's just a bad week. Two bad weeks happening at just like the wrong time.
Yep.
Sometimes there's nothing you can do about it.
And Francisco
process was
Augusto,
good.
what's going on? 1 PPR, need 2. Antonio Brown, Brandon Ayuk, Alan Lazard, Rashad Bateman, Marquez Callaway.
Brown.
Well, Brown and Ayuk, because or
Oh,
is
he
it
needs
Brown
2.
Brown and Lazard?
Brown
with
and
no
Lazard,
MVS?
if because MVS went on the COVID list.
Yep. So maybe
So-
MVS.
Brown and Lazard.
Or yeah, Brown and Lazard.
Yeah, Brown and Lazard.
And Ayuk was one of our misses this past week. He didn't do much.
He didn't do anything.
So,
To be fair, well, this is the San Francisco got up on they got up big early on Atlanta, and that was not much of a contest in the second half. That being said, the likes of like Trent Sherfield once again was playing ahead of him. So it's like, what is going on? This, Brandon Ayuk is a nice microcosm of how weird this season has been. Right?
yeah, kind of.
Like, high expectations in the doghouse, came back to life for a little while late, back in the doghouse. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily the doghouse, but, two catches.
Kind
to
of
your
back in
point.
the tank. I mean,
Yeah, it's like, what in the world?
one of his targets, I think, Deebo Samuel threw to him. It's just on a
Yes,
trick
that's
play,
that's
right?
true. That's
Right?
correct. So
So
that
it wasn't
right, and it
even a
hit him in the
target from
back,
the
and it hit the
yeah, it
defender in
wasn't
the
even a
back.
target from
So
the
it wasn't
quarterback. Yeah.
even a catchable ball. So like,
Yeah.
the process was there for Ayuk. The process was there. Just didn't
But
happen.
Antonio Brown, Alan Lazard, I think they're both upside plays too. So, again, in matchups where you need to score as many points as you can, there are no hedging your bets right now. This is the fantasy playoffs. You want to go all in. I think Lazard is a good bet at wide receiver 2 there, or wherever you need to fit him in. But thanks
There
for
you
the
go.
question, man. Big Kong, what's going on? So I started Tyler
Big Kong?
Boyd and Jeff Wilson because everyone else has COVID. And it
Oh,
worked
there
out
you
great.
go.
All
Those
right.
were those two delivered.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah.
I wouldn't
I
have said start Tyler Boyd, but good job.
I have a smaller league. This is like with old coworkers. It's like a standard league where you only start 2 receivers. I had Lockett and Jalen Waddle both going COVID. I started MVS and who was the other guy? Gabe Davis. I was like, oh, this worked out better than if I had probably had a normal good week for Lockett and Waddle. So hey man, sometimes this week was weird. This week was weird. Wilson got 18 half PPR points or almost 19. Boyd had the long touchdown, so he came through where T. Higgins and Jamar Chase did nothing. Go figure. Super weird week. But hey, love to see when it works out for somebody. So nicely done.
Yes, sir. And Eloud, if OBJ drops 55, you might have a chance. Hey, what's your scoring like?
He's got and then the opponent has Sony and Matt Gay with a 27-point lead. Okay, yeah. Sony might not do a ton with Henderson back, but obviously I think Matt Gay has double-digit points in every week this year, right?
Okay,
Does he have 10 points?
Le'Veon Bell is back is a buck. Breaking news.
I see that now too. Breaking news.
Le'Veon Bell
Le'Veon Bell, the Bucks will sign him.
The Bucks' new running back 1.
How do you look? No. He's definitely not the number 1. He's the number 2 behind Ronald Jones. But this is bad for Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
This signing is not good for Leonard Fournette. Again, Le'Veon Bell,
Yeah,
assuming
Tom Pelissero is reporting this.
Assuming he passes his physical. Assuming he passes his physical tomorrow, the Bucks will sign Le'Veon Bell to the 53-man roster. This is a not good sign for Leonard Fournette, if I had to guess.
Now, are they making any moves in conjunction with this to pick up any wide receivers? Or are they rolling with the guys that are on their depth chart right now? Because that would, to me, would speak to the status of Mike Evans.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to. They'll probably take a little bit more time
right.
with that.
You're right to read into the tea leaves there. This is bad news for Leonard Fournette for the next few games at least.
I would say this might be bad for beyond this week.
Yeah. So,
because the Bucs' chances. What is Tampa's record now?
I mean, they lost the game.
They lost the game, and they've been swept by the.
Right.
They've now been swept by the Saints this year, which is not good for the division.
Nope.
My question is, are they out of it for contending for the number 1 bye? No, they're not. They're still 10-4. So the Bucs are not out of it as far as staying in the race for the number 1 overall seed, which is obviously the only seed now that gets a bye week, right? So there's incentive for the Bucs to get their healthy players back, and not necessarily if they were 8-6 or 8-7 and they were gonna win their division but they're out of it for the race for the number 1 seed, then maybe you understand shutting Leonard Fournette down until the playoffs. But because they're in contention for the number 1 seed and they make this signing of Le'Veon Bell, I think this is not great news for Leonard Fournette.
No.
So adjust accordingly if you have Fournette. So there you go.
Yeah. I mean,
hopefully he's
what
okay.
What is the status right now of Gio Bernard?
Still on IR.
Yeah. Okay.
Still on IR.
Well, there you go, you guys. Some breaking news. There you go. What do you guys think about the
Le'Veon Bell
in
Tampa Bay?
Yeah, that's wild. All right.
There you go.
And Francisco, hey, you're welcome.
You know what that means? Le'Veon Bell and
helps.
Antonio Brown are on the same team again.
That's wild. Okay.
That's wild. They're together again.
Yep. Damn.
Bucs are now likely. This is from Adam Schefter. Buccaneers are now quote unquote likely. I don't know who he's quoting. League source to place Leonard Fournette on injured reserve with the hamstring injury.
Yuck.
He would miss the rest of the regular season, but expected to return for the playoffs. That's good. I mean, that's good long-term
news for them, but
for the Bucs. But if you were relying on Leonard Fournette in the fantasy playoffs, that run is over.
Yeah.
Or it's looking likely that it's over.
Now, would you be, if you were RB needy, would you be thinking of picking up
Le'Veon Bell? Probably not. This is going to be Ronald Jones's opportunity. I'm looking elsewhere, not Le'Veon Bell. I'm keeping an eye on the status of Austin Eckler. I'm keeping an eye on the status of Joe Mixon. And if those guys, the likes of Samaje Perine, the likes of Justin Jackson, if those guys are available, I would assume Jackson might be a little more widely available. Those are the guys I'm looking at. This Bucs offense
Duke Johnson or Le'Veon Bell?
Bell. Bell, because of the offense. At the very least.
And hey, we haven't talked at all about Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce going on the COVID list either.
They're also on the COVID list.
Both of them.
Kelce went on Monday. Tyreek went on today, Tuesday. Now, remember, the NFL, after this weekend, relaxed COVID protocols for vaccinated players. You now only need to return, I think, one negative test. I don't know what the timeline is as far as how far out the test has to test negative after you test positive. But this makes it easier for vaccinated players to return the same week that they go on the COVID list. I know Travis Kelce is vaccinated. I don't know if Tyreek Hill is. I'm not sure. Kelce is not, his status is very much in question, but he is vaccinated. I've seen that. There's been multiple sources.
So it's not quite no gray season yet?
Not quite. That's going to have to probably, that has to wait a couple more days, but I'm not sure about if Tyreek Hill is vaccinated, but if he is, then the same protocols apply to him, and it would be likelier for him to return on Sunday than it would have been this time last week.
True.
There's been a couple quick news articles, little snippets that have suggested Hill's vaccination status is unknown. So for whatever that's worth, unless anybody has a source that they're well aware of, that's not, that's something else. His status is in question. Kelsey is for sure vaccinated.
There you go.
So,
and we'll talk a little bit about just the how to navigate that offense in a little bit. Let's get to these questions in the chat first.
We can do that.
Mark De Silva. Hey, glad we could help. And yeah, Cup has dropped a 40-plus game this week already, or this year already. So
was that in full PPR?
Yeah, probably with some bonuses somewhat. But yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not trying to take away from it. He's only been the wide receiver one in every facet this year. It's just
and he had a 30-point.
You need a moonshot game from
last
him.
Week, so
yeah. I mean, it can happen. It's definitely possible. And guess what? This is a huge game for the Rams. Division game at home. You want to talk about teams in contention for the number 1 seed. I suspect Cooper Kupp is going to have some work tonight.
No Tyler Higbee, too. Again. Vinny Stacks, PPR, Goddard, Henderson, or Penny tonight, down by 2, but I'm not taking any chances. Hey, fair enough.
Fair enough.
So, hey, the best bet Henderson.
For 3 points
PPR
is
Henderson.
I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, the only concern is him coming off the COVID list. Do we have a Myles Gaskin situation where his work is scaled back some? Even if he were, Myles Gaskin, I think, ran for 54 rushing yards, so that 5 points would get it done for you. So if Henderson even got similar work as that, and continues to take a backseat to Sony Michel for one more, I'm just painting let's call it a worst case scenario for Henderson here. If Sony continues to handle lead back duties for one more week with Henderson coming back from the COVID list for the first time, he should still be a decent bet for let's just say a floor of 40 to 50 total yards, or at the very least a catch, which in full PPR.
I mean, the safest bet.
One catch gets you halfway
for
there.
Any sort of work is Rashad Penny.
Say that again.
The safest bet for work is Rashad Penny. The safest bet for points, I think, is Henderson, because Penny could crap the bed or get injured again.
Or Pete Carroll could be playing us once again, and it's a DJ Dallas week.
Right. Henderson's
going to be involved on a good offense that needs to win. Not that the Eagles don't either. The Eagles are also in the playoff race, but I mean, I want to play a running back over a tight end when my back is against the wall.
Yeah. Unless it's
Henderson.
It's tight end premium, where literally one catch could win you your matchup. So you're really only hoping for one catch from Goddard in that situation. I'd be going Henderson.
Yeah.
So yeah, hope that helps. And AB, what's going on, man?
Going on, AB.
And Elout Arians really doesn't like Rojo. Yeah. Hey, neither do I in fantasy. So.
He might not have a choice though this week.
Yeah.
Or for the next 3 weeks. So
Le'Veon Bell.
We'll see. Yeah, Le'Veon Bell. We'll see.
Sad J Cutler, what's going on, man?
What's up, Sad J Cutler?
Hey, I'm glad we helped. I'm glad we helped. He had a great week.
How many times did we get was it Christian Kirk or Amon Ra?
Yeah.
Something like that. I think Amon Ra, or we went Kirk, and Kirk slightly outscored him, but Amon Ra popped early.
Yeah, he had you feeling good early.
He had you feeling real good early.
Yep.
He had me feeling like we messed up early, but Kirk came back and I think slightly outscored him. Slightly. But yeah, St. Brown is a wide receiver 2 rest of season.
Yeah, glad he helped you this week, man.
Yeah, St. Brown's a wide receiver 2.
Tim, what's going on? How you doing?
Going on.
And Sad J,
we screwed up.
We
screwed up. I just want to say with Tim, we screwed up about playing. We have been wrong about Russell Gage. we've been wrong about Russell Gage.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll take that L collectively.
Sorry.
So,
Man.
yeah. Hopefully it didn't stop your playoff run. But yeah, got that one wrong. Have for a couple weeks now. Anyway, now we can get back to Zad J's question. Crazy for wanting to start Cordero versus the Lions.
Jeff
over Najee. Oh, I see what you're saying.
No, because I mean KC should be down early because they might not have the two of their top playmakers, and that's who their whole offense runs through.
Yeah.
So it might be just like pound the rock with Najee all game. It might be one of those games versus KC.
That's assuming Kelsey and Hill are out, or one of them at least.
Yeah.
Which we don't know. It's too early to know.
This is Jeff Wilson if Eli sits. So we're already taking into account ifs.
Yeah, so, I would say, and I think there was a positive development from one of the 49ers beat reporters that Elijah Mitchell's knee, I'm not sure about the concussion, but the knee has taken a positive turn. So that could be a positive sign for Mitchell's availability week 16. We still got a long way to go to get there. You have to fire up Patterson regardless, but let's come back, Sajay. If you're, we'll do. What's the schedule for this weekend? Like, assuming there's no more games that get that get postponed.
I mean, the Titans.
What's the schedule for Saturday? For the Saturday
Titans are
games?
giving up the least amount of fantasy points to opposing running backs.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. I mean, they're giving up 16.1 fantasy points to opposing running backs, and that sounds good, but that's the whole group, and that's on average. It's the lowest average in the league through 15 games, or 14 games. So I don't know how gung-ho I am about playing Jeff Wilson. I would over a top 10 fantasy running back like Najee Harris. I am not doing that.
Nah.
So I'm sorry. I think you are a little bit crazy for wanting to start Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, fire up
Najee.
Najee
versus
anybody. He just had a big game Thursday. Not this past week, but the week before. He just had a huge game against Minnesota. I mean, he still has workhorse opportunities. And guess what? If Pittsburgh is down, they'll throw it to him.
Yeah.
They'll throw it to him. So, yeah, I'm playing Cordero and Najee. Actually, somewhat confidently over those other options. And Tim, I'm glad to see that you have been ignoring us and playing Russell Gage because you are the smart one, not us.
Yeah. Hey, and that's just a disclaimer, man. Anybody out there, we're here to give you general advice.
Right, but we're not here to set the lineup for you.
Yeah, it's up to you to make the changes in your lineups and pick up the guys that you want.
You do you.
But definitely, we're here to bounce questions off of, and
sometimes
you have those moments where you're just like, "Am I crazy for doing this?"
At the end of the day, you are your own man. Yeah, you do what you feel. You do what you feel is best.
Yeah,
you do what you feel is best, and I'm happy that worked out.
And Anthony Garcia Foreman. I mean, there was
but over who?
There was an alert on him, I believe, earlier. Foreman was a full participant for Tuesday's practice. Okay.
So what did you just read?
Donta Foreman had an ankle injury, but he was a full participant in Tuesday's practice.
Oh yeah, he picked up an. That's right. That's right. I remember. He picked up an ankle injury late, but he ultimately stayed in the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, who are your other options? But like, is he a viable flex play? Absolutely.
And both Gage and CPAT are a start at this point.
Yeah, they are.
Anthony, both Gage and CPAT are confident. I mean, CPAT's a confident start every week and has been for pretty much. He had
a down week this past week, but I
don't care.
This is not a trend. This is not a trend. He just had 3 other really good games before this past week. He's back and against the Lions, he's back in your lineup.
Yep.
Or he never left your lineup. But yeah, depending on your other options, Foreman absolutely is worth a look. Tim, will Hill and Kelsey play? So we did just kind of go over this. Kelsey, to my knowledge, is vaccinated. Hill, I don't know. The NFL instituted new COVID-19 protocols for returning to play. It's easier now, as of this week, for vaccinated players to get cleared to play. You only need to submit one negative test instead of two. I don't know if Hill is vaccinated, and I have not seen any news source confirm either way. If Hill is vaccinated, obviously the same thing applies to him as it does to Kelsey. It'll be easier for him to play. But if he's not vaccinated, it's already Tuesday. If he's not vaccinated, I would not feel good about Tyreek Hill. But I have not seen anything either way on his vaccination status. So if you're able to find something, then awesome. Kelsey right now, just based off the fact that we don't know about Tyreek Hill, Kelsey is a safer bet to return. And he went on the COVID list one day earlier, so Kelsey's got a little bit more time.
There you go.
There you go.
And we got to that question, Anthony.
Yep, got to the yes. They're both starts easy. Gage now is an easy.
You're good, Tim.
Yeah, you're good. Congrats on advancing. Good stuff.
Callum,
make sure you start Russell Gage next week.
What's going on, Callum Roger? Do you think?
What's up, Callum?
Hey, yeah, start Gage, but now that we're advocating starting him, I don't know.
Let's not put that on us.
Callum, do you think AJ Brown will play, and do you trust him over Sanders, Damian Harris, or St. Brown?
Yes, I think he will play. He was activated from injured reserve here. He was designated to return. The Titans play on a short week. I feel like the fact that they are doing this now early in the week bodes well for his return. And they need him because Julio, I think, is once again dealing with another injury. There's one we got right.
Again. Yeah.
There's one we got right.
Yep.
Julio remains like I hate not to be. I don't want to.
Damian Harris was out last game, and I don't know what his status is going into this game. At the very least,
was a hamstring too, right? So that's concerning.
Yep. I mean, St. Brown, like we said earlier, he's a wide receiver 2 rest of season.
St. Brown's a wide receiver 2
that he's getting, but AJ Brown is a wide receiver 1 and high-end wide receiver 2 with the chance to be a wide receiver 1 any given week.
Yeah.
Especially with the workload that he's going to be getting. And I would play AJ Brown over all those options.
Yeah, you have to. I think we have to play AJ Brown over these options. He should command a number 1 target share once he gets back into the lineup. And it's a must-win game for the Titans at home. Or are they at home? I think they're at home. Regardless, they need him back. They're down to like second and third options at every position right now. The Titans are at home, so they need this game. They need this game. They're trying to win the division. So.
And Tim, is Patterson is sit right now? I would say no. I know you have Rojo and Wilson and Penny and Henderson and you're thinking of benching Patterson, but Patterson next week has a matchup against the Lions, and the Lions give up the 4th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Great.
Yeah, I'm targeting that.
25.6 fantasy points to opposing running backs. And Patterson is a running back hybrid, but he still counts in that consideration there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Patterson is ever to sit, even coming off a dud game for him.
Yeah, just one bad game. I'm not worried about that.
The only person
we're firing him up again this week.
Henderson gives me pause, but not enough to where I'm sitting Patterson. I mean, Henderson should be a high-end option moving forward, and I hate to have him on my bench, but I'm not sitting Patterson for Henderson. But I would be looking at, depending on what league, if you're on ESPN or Yahoo or whatever, depending on the flexibility that you have with his status.
Right.
Is he a wide receiver or a wide receiver running back hybrid?
ESPN doesn't do the running back.
Right. Next week, can you play a little game with your lineup and have him be a wide receiver if that's possible, and then still
ESPN.
Be able to play Henderson, something like that?
I feel like I might be wrong. I think Tim might play ESPN.
Yeah. I think we
I might be wrong, or I might be thinking of somebody else. But if that's the case, then obviously you don't get the benefit of the flexibility. Yeah. So, but no, he's not a sit.
And you have CEH there too. You have a ton of good running backs, man.
You never have too many this time of year.
And CEH with no.
He's behind Patterson and Henderson.
CEH with no Kelsey or Hill.
Well, okay, that would up him a good bit.
Yeah.
We got a long way to go till Sunday, though.
Yep. Come back on Saturday, and we'll talk about it some more, man. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
But let's get past this week and see if there. With the way that statuses are changing literally every day, every couple of hours, really. We really got to wait until really Saturday to give you a good start sit suggestion there.
Yep.
And Sad J Cutler, glad we could help.
Yeah. I hate Thursday too. I can't stand Thursday games. I can't stand having to deal with, lineups with players where the Thursday game is a factor. But there's nothing we can do about it.
Right.
Sometimes you have to just, you have to play the guy that you drafted high.
And Anthony, you have Melvin Gordon too. So it's start Foreman or Melvin Gordon. I think I would go.
So the Titans have a short week at home against San Francisco.
Would I go Melvin Gordon?
Gordon is on the road against Vegas, who just played last night on Monday, so it's a short week for them.
And
I would play Gordon.
Vegas puts up the third most fantasy points to opposing running backs, 25.7
Gordon
points to opposing running backs every week.
I would play Gordon
all season, so I would go Gordon too.
Play Gordon.
Yep,
that's what I would do.
Yep. And Slim, what's going on? How you doing?
What's up, Slim?
Bella's worth a speculative ad depending on how bad how bad all the COVID absences are affecting your team and how bad you've been injury bitten. Definitely a speculative ad. We've seen running backs get elevated into from the practice squad like Duke Johnson last week and just absolutely kill it. With Leonard Fournette possibly going on IR. Is that a definitive report now, Nick?
It's likely. It hasn't officially happened.
Yeah.
Adam Schefter said it is quote unquote likely.
Yep.
Some league source. So we can assume, but it has not become official yet.
So he's worth a speculative ad. If by chance Rojo goes on the COVID list and then they only have Lev Bell out as the only option that they can go to outside of Keyshawn Vaughn, then you're a winner there for just picking up making a speculative ad on a running back, which is something that we've been advocating for the past couple of weeks. To Nick's point, it might be a better bet to look at a guy like Justin Jackson based off of Eckler's status and a guy like Samaje Perine based off of Mixon's status going into the next week. But yeah, Bell isn't a bad pickup. Not at all. But Gabe Davis, another hot game with no Emmanuel Sanders or Beasley. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
it's another hot game for Gabe.
He's a firm wide receiver too for the next 2 weeks.
Yep. Babe Davis.
With upside for more. He had a wide receiver 1 week this week, didn't he?
Yeah. I believe. He caught a touchdown for sure.
Caught 2.
Did he?
Come on, Bills fan. Yeah. He had 2 touchdowns. He had a great game. One was a nice catch where,
all of Davis's catches are nice.
In the back of the end zone, got the feet down right. It wasn't like a toe drag swag, but good catch. Had the defender on him in the back of the end zone. It's a good catch for his second score.
I've been a fan of Gabe Davis for a long time.
Davis.
You know this. I've made trades for Gabe Davis in every league that I'm in with you. So
Babe Davis,
bro. Yeah.
Babe Davis. Yeah, it's going to be another Babe week.
And I love him moving into the offseason. If anybody's in the Dynasty League, pick up Gabe Davis.
Might need
go and trade Gabe.
his cost was the price just went up.
So, still worth the cost.
Depends on who's selling.
With Emmanuel Sanders not going to be on the team next year, and Cole Beasley at I think 33 now, on the last year of his deal, on the second to last year of his deal, they could save $8 million cap space by cutting him in the offseason.
Price just went up.
Gabe Davis. Sajay Cutler, how much does your trust in St. Brown change or not change if Goff doesn't come off the COVID list in time?
Who's their backup? Is like Tim Boyle or something? The Lions.
I mean, he's still going to be the number one target.
Probably.
They don't have Hawkinson. Brock Wright isn't going to be catching a ton of passes from the tight end position. They don't have Swift there getting a ton of passes from the running back position.
Nope.
So, I mean,
he should be fine.
St. Brown could still be in line for like 10, 12 targets. He might not hit the ceiling that he has with Goff. But, I mean, how much higher is the ceiling of Goff versus a backup quarterback? Many would argue that Goff is a backup quarterback. I don't think it affects him too much. He's still going to be a focal point for that offense regardless. And Goff isn't some great quarterback to where if he's not in there, I'm coming off of the number one target in that offense altogether.
I mean, remember, these questions get these types of questions are just get put on under a microscope this time of year, right? Like, who are my alternative options? What's the matchup? Are they at home? Like, there's a lot of different variables that go into this. Like, the only easy question to answer is, do I keep a hold of Amon-Ra St. Brown right now? The answer is obviously yes. But we got to take it, and especially with outbreaks happening every day, new players put in on the COVID list every day. Like, we're truly day to day with every single roster decision from here on out.
Yeah.
So, it's hard to answer that question right now. Like, do I have 3 decent other options at wide receiver? Well, then I'm probably not worrying too much about this, because I'll just look at it and be like, okay, backup quarterback. Who are the Lions playing? This week they're getting the Falcons. It's a pretty favorable matchup. That's a good matchup. I might fire him up based off of that. But if they were playing, if it was a tougher game against a good defense and it's going to be raining or it's going to be windy, which is probably even worse than the rain, then it's like, well, I might not worry about the matchup. I'm just not playing him given the situation.
Right.
So it's a very day-by-day, case-by-case basis figuring this out. But St. Brown is on the wide receiver 2 roadmap, low end, maybe a little bit more so with the backup quarterback moving forward. It's just a matter of, are your other options, like, what is their situation too,
Agreed.
But I feel good. I feel fine about him moving forward. It's just, the next question is, how fine do I feel about him? But that's a conversation
he's a low end wide receiver too.
That's ultimately a decision to make Saturday or Sunday morning.
If Tim Boyle is in there, is he a low end wide receiver 2? Maybe not, but he's a high end wide receiver 3. And then at that point, you're looking at a couple of point spaces distinction between rankings wise, and I think it's negligible. And you're kind of pulling hairs, but we got to get there first. So to Nick's point, let's get there first. And usually earlier in the season, we're all always down for speculating out and stuff. But I mean,
it's
so
hard to
right
do
now.
at this
it's
point.
So hard right now. Yeah. So, Tim Shields, I'm going into the second round full PPR 3 wide receiver league with Stafford, Hill, DK, Patterson, Henderson, CEH, Andrews, Gage, Rojo, Wilson, Penny, and Pitts, with Philly, Miami, and Seattle defenses and Bass. Hey, good roster.
should you pick up the Philly kicker? I absolutely do think Bass can be pivoted off of officially. He hasn't hit double-digit fantasy points for like a month now, at least, and now he's got to go on the road in New England. So yeah, if you want to pick up, who does Jake Elliott get? Did they get the Cowboys week 16? Or it might? Oh, you know who? It might be the Giants. It might be the Giants at home for Jake Elliott week 16.
Yeah. And
yes,
with
I
Bass,
am
they're playing the
Jake Elliott.
Patriots, So
I sorry.
the Bills, I believe they're playing the Patriots.
I would rank Jake Elliott ahead of Tyler Bass this week. Yes.
I'm off of Bass for this week.
I'm off Bass. I think this is the matchup to avoid him. He's much more enticing week 17, but we got to get there first.
Yep.
So yeah, but other than that, it's looking good. We'll figure everything out. We'll finalize everything Saturday or Sunday. But yes, I would pivot off of Bass.
And just a disclaimer for everybody: on Saturday we will be having the live stream again at an earlier time to accommodate whatever games are going on.
I think the first game is 4:30 Eastern.
So we'll be going live at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Say around 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. So we'll be here for start sit help. 2 p.m. Eastern sounds good. We'll of course keep everybody in the loop. We'll make a community post or something if that time needs to change at all. Actually, we might just post it anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be here to figure all this stuff out.
And Tim, your opponent has Mahomes, Chase, Diggs, Cup, Mixon, Hunt COVID.
Yeah.
New name. Hines, Everett, Bills, D, Carlson, kicker, and more.
Yeah, this is when there's probably only 4 good teams left after tonight. So
and if you won the first time you played, you always feel better going into the matchup.
Yeah, you feel good going. You feel like you can handle it.
He has a good team too, but Mahomes, possibly no Kelsey, Hill. That helps there for sure. Mixon ankle issue, so keep an eye on that. But with your team, you should have a good bet to win. I think your team is good, and if Patrick Mahomes doesn't have his playmakers and you play CEH, gotta like that correlation there. But yeah, good luck, man, and drop by on Saturday or Sunday, and we'll be able to answer your questions definitively as far as start sit options. And Anthony, yeah, we talked about that a little bit. Definitely an interesting signing. Looks like Leonard Fournette is going to be put on the is likely to be put on the IR.
Likely to put on injured reserve. So, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how it shakes out there. He's a good speculative ad.
Ronald Jones is gonna get first crack at lead back duties, but I think this is a backup signing. This is a depth signing. It's also this is an emergency situation because we don't have Leonard Fournette.
But if anything were to happen to Ronald Jones,
if Ronald Jones goes down or
anything like that, then
Le'Veon Bell all of a sudden is a friggin' RB2.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the importance of handcuffing in the fantasy playoffs.
Right.
So you never know what could happen. You could look up one day and have an RB2 on your team for free. So
in this, in this the age of COVID, you could sleepwalk right into an RB2.
And Tim, Jacoby Myers ain't swaying.
So
you're still a good bet to win that matchup.
The only thing you're concerned about is obviously like Kupp is the direct beneficiary of your quarterback. So
and Diggs should get more work thrown his way because no Beasley and Emmanuel Sanders. So that.
And if Tyreek, obviously you need Tyreek Hill. You need Tyreek Hill off the COVID list. That's key.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
Zach Free, what's going on?
Going on, Zach?
For Jefferson for tonight and have Philly defense playing tonight. I'm losing right now, 97 to 129, and my opposite has nobody left to play. So you want upside. If you want upside, I think you have to go Metcalf with no Tyler Lockett.
I think you have to go
Jefferson
Metcalf.
Has been good, but I feel like Jefferson has a ceiling of around 18 points.
18.
I feel like when I've looked, when he's had a good week, it's been anywhere from 13 to 18 fantasy points. I could be wrong.
I think you might be. Van Jefferson's been very good, but I don't know that he's been like.
When he's been on and had a good week, he's gotten you 13 to 18 fantasy points.
Yeah, in half PPR, 15, 13, 18. There might be a bonus or two in here and there. That's the past 3 games.
Yeah.
But 7,
13
6,
to 18,
11,
right.
12. Yeah, somewhere. But okay, I thought you said 18, like average.
Oh, no. But, I mean, Metcalf, technically, he has that 25-point upside when he hits. He just hasn't hit in a very long time. But if he gets a couple of touchdowns, that can turn around quick. As the focal point of this offense right now they're relying on Rashad Penny, no Lockett. They're relying on Everett. They're going to be relying on DK. And when he's on, he's one of the most unguardable wide receivers in the league. He just hasn't been on for...
It's been a while since we've seen that.
6 games, 7 games.
Been a while since we've seen that.
And something that I want to talk about in the offseason is these huge alpha wide receivers just not hitting.
Who else? AJ Brown.
No. The size speed specimen wide receivers.
So like Metcalf, AJ.
Yeah, kind of haven't been hitting.
I mean, this is just this year, but also Metcalf had a very up and down, not very good second half of last year as well. So,
yeah.
But he's the better option. He's going against Jalen Ramsey. It's a tougher matchup for sure, but like he should be force-fed work.
Yeah, Metcalf's sick. And hey, good luck. Good luck. You're hoping for a 35-point week. You're hoping for a ceiling week. Let's hope he can get you 2 touchdowns and 50 yards.
That's what you need that, and then you need the Eagles defense to get a pick 6 or something.
Yeah.
Which could they're playing a 3rd-string quarterback. They should be able to get something done.
Yep. So good luck, man. Let us know how you make out. If you can catch one of the next streams coming up.
For sure.
Yeah, and Tim, I hope DK goes out with a bang the next 2 weeks too. I'm gonna be relying on him too.
There's multiple people in here rooting for Metcalf.
Yep, me included. Sajay Cutler. Hey, thank you.
Appreciate that. Yeah, Tags was I learned about him late. He unfortunately passed this.
Yeah.
Was it before the season started?
I think so. That was a rough one.
Yeah. That sucked. That still sucks.
He was one of the first people that I started listening to when I was looking for fantasy content to start.
There you go.
Picking up on. He was one of the first ones that I latched onto too. So yeah, it was tough, man. But hey, I'm glad that we could fill the void for you.
Well, I don't know if we're quite there yet.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. I'm just he said it. I'm glad that we could fill the void for him.
Do a little bit. We're not quite on Tags level, but we're hoping to get there.
We hope to get there someday. But yep. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for joining the community, bro.
Yeah.
And Slim, who are Mahomes' weapons this week? No Hill, no Kelsey. I mean, it'll be Demarcus Robinson. It'll be Mecole Hardman. It'll be Byron Pringle.
The running backs.
Darrell Williams.
Darrell Williams will run more routes. Clyde will continue to get underutilized. It's going to be a lot of like random pieces. Pringle should see more involvement. Hardman should see more involvement. I don't think Noah Gray is like the very next up on their depth chart, but he has been playing. He's been on the field plenty, as far as the other tight ends. Whatever. Let's see what Mahomes is made of. If he doesn't have his horses, let's see what he's got. Let's see what we can do. I mean, call it what you want. Call it like however bad or you feel about the Steelers. I mean, this is a defense that generally year in, year out gets the respect of the league, and deservedly so. Let's see how he does. See what he can do. if in fact he's without his guys. But yeah, I mean, I would take a shot on a guy like Pringle. I would take a shot on a guy, I guess, Hardman by default. I don't know. I don't know why I can't get behind Mecole Hardman even in a situation where he's featured, but he's going to get his opportunity this week, potentially. Yeah. Demarcus Robinson. Maybe my short-term memory sucks, but like, what has he done this year?
Nothing this year.
He had previously.
The only things I can think of him doing are in prior seasons. He hasn't done anything this year.
He had one. He had one game week 2, and
I
he had
really
one
think
game
the big
6.
beneficiaries here, they're going to be running the ball a whole lot more. So it's
I would say Daryl. I would think Daryl Williams is a big winner. Daryl Williams feels like a winner.
All the running backs are going to win, and I don't know. Yeah. And really, you're picking. It's a crapshoot at pass catcher if Hill and Kelsey miss time. Yeah. And Sajay Cutler. My only other wide receiver is Tyreek, and Cordarrelle is eligible in my league, so St. Brown is going to be big for me in those semis. And, hey, you're welcome, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, so in this situation, I mean, if you don't have Tyreek because he's on the COVID list, then St. Brown is an easy fire up.
Yeah, if you can, with Cordarrelle being eligible in your league, you can play around with that. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Yeah, and if you're on ESPN, anybody out there, switch to a different.
Switch to Yahoo, or better yet, switch to Sleeper.
Or MFL if you want to do a whole bunch of work, but.
Yeah, I'm not advocating for that.
You tried that once.
Bad memories. Yes, look, tags was. I mean, you see it. I see it all on like Twitter. There were whole threads of people like doing shots, like toasting to him. Man had an impact. He left his mark. So.
Yeah, I think there was not to get in the weeds here. I think there was a void left in the network as well. I haven't the fantasy pros, the guys that they have filling Joe Pisapia, the other guys they have in there filling his spot. Not as good. My personal opinion. So, yeah. Unfortunate, but hey. I don't know. Don't know what to say.
Tag strong, right? Wasn't that the hashtag?
Yeah, and Eddie, what's
going on, Eddie?
What's going on, Eddie? Gabe Davis, though, yeah, man.
Yeah, we'll talk about Gabe Davis. He's a wide receiver. He's a wide receiver too.
Gabe Davis.
Eli, enjoy the game. Enjoy the games. Gabe Davis is a wide receiver too. For the rest of the season. For at least these next 2 games.
Did Dawson Knox tight end 1?
Yeah, Sanders. Did Sanders go on IR? Did Emmanuel Sanders go on IR?
He basically,
and Cole
basically
Beasley, right?
I don't know if Sanders is on IR, but he's not playing.
Beasley went on the COVID list.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and he's out for 10 games because he's unvaccinated. So he's out for 10 days.
10 days. So he's surely going to miss the New England game. Yeah. So. Yeah, tougher matchup by the numbers, having to go on the road in New England. But Davis is going to be viable as a wide receiver too, no doubt.
Yep.
And Eli, you're welcome.
Yeah,
of course. But I think the game is about to start. We are at the end of the chat. I think now might be as good as any to call it and give everybody 5 minutes to get set up. We did have one.
HD, real quick. Choose 2. Rashad Penny, OBJ, DK, PPR. I'm down 43 and also have Goddard. If you're down 43 and you need points on points, I think I'd be going DK, OBJ. PPR? Or would you be going?
Well, we said earlier in a question about Rashad versus OBJ in a moonshot situation, we said Penny.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're down huge,
PPR too. But you have Goddard, you have DK playing.
DK probably needs to be in. Just whatever, out of necessity. He's going to get a ton of targets, or he should, even though he's going against Jalen Ramsey. Penny is the moonshot. Like, Penny is your swing for the fences. It could be ugly. It could be gross. But if you're down big anyway, a 10-point game is not going to do it. Like, Odell might get 10 or 12 points, but, like, is that going to do it?
No, we're hoping he gets 55 points for Elout, but yeah.
Well, true, but I'm not hanging my hat on that. Sorry. Yeah, I would say Penny is your moonshot. And DK has to be in.
There you go. Penny and DK. The best defense for Week 16, Miami, Philly, Seattle.
Seattle's are at home against the Bears, so that looks pretty good after what they did last night. Philly's at home against the Giants. That looks good. But remember, those two teams will be playing on a short week. Miami's on the road in New Orleans. That's not bad.
I'd be playing.
But
Philly.
I think I would play Philly at home against the Giants in a revenge game for the Eagles because they lost earlier in the season to the Giants. The Giants shut down Daniel Jones for whatever that's worth. They're going to be starting a backup quarterback. Their season is in the tank. The Bears season is in the tank too as far as Seattle's. But I think Philly is probably a better defense than Seattle. So,
yeah,
Philly. Sheed, sorry you're out of the playoffs, man. Thanks for stopping in really quick.
And
we appreciate you being a part of this all year long.
Elout said, but only because his opponent had Rams defense. That's why we were going Rashad Penny over OBJ.
So
that is a point to remember there. My at first glance look at this with no other factors weighing in. Is DK OBJ PPR if you're down 43 and have Goddard.
You want to play all right? All right, Fungus. We advocated for Penny earlier, but that situation was against the Rams defense. So you're talking about like a multi-point swing.
Are you still going Penny?
Yeah.
Penny is he's technically still he's the
moonshot play.
Moonshot.
Odell feels a little safer, but I don't know how safe I can play it down 43.
Yeah.
I mean, since you have Goddard and DK, maybe that's fine. Play the wide receivers in full PPR.
It's tough.
I think I'm gonna stick with the moonshot with Penny.
He can get you 26 points, but he could
get you
re-injure himself and get you no points, or he could get a bunch of he could average less than 3 yards per carry like he did up to last week, and get you a sub 10-point week. He can do that.
Mm-hmm.
With no Lockett, there's no guarantee that they just are in the red zone a whole lot for him to score touchdowns.
So you want to play Odell?
OBJ, no Tyler Higbee. I feel like he is safer, and he's a better bet to get you.
Odell is safer. Penny is a swing for the fences. Fungus. Odell is safer. Like, Odell's a safe bet, but game script's probably not ultimately going to be in his favor in the second half. He could do he could do 12 to 15 points in the first half, but it might be slow after that. Penny is a swing for the fences. His floor is 0. But if he scores 5, Odell scores 10, and you still end up losing by 20, then ultimately, who cares? Right. So Odell is the safe play. Penny is a moonshot, and you're down big. So it's like give me all upside.
There you go. And yeah, Sheed, hey, glad we could help, and happy holidays to you too. Happy holidays to everybody in the chat.
Happy holidays to everybody.
We are going to shut this one down. I believe it is safe to let Arizona go, depending on
I think it is too.
Who else you have at defense?
He's got Philly, Seattle, and he's got the Philly, Seattle, and Miami situation. So yeah, Arizona against Jonathan Taylor, forget it. And against Dallas, I don't love that either. So yeah, Arizona's safe to let go. Fungus, if you want to go with OBJ because you feel like your pieces collectively can get it done, then go with OBJ. Go with your gut.
He's been hot getting touchdowns every game.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a good bet to get you that touchdown.
Let's go with OBJ.
Yeah.
Let's go with OBJ.
Good luck, everybody. Who's got a matchup tonight?
Yep. Whoever's hanging in the balance, good luck. And we will be back Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, for Start Sit Help.
And we hope
2
you'll
p.m.
be back
Eastern
next
on
week, too.
Saturday.
And thank you for the sub.
Yeah, Fungus, appreciate it.
Good luck.
Welcome
man.
aboard. Good luck. Let's get this win. Let's get this win, everybody. Happy holidays. We will see y'all Saturday for some Start Sit Help.
Peace, y'all.